theoretical framework. So let's go through. The Dillon and McLean Information System Success Model was developed by Dillon and McLean in 1992, and this is their model. What they are saying is that information quality, the system quality, and the service quality informs someone's intention to use a system and using it, and the person's satisfaction. So if you are integrating, if you have integrated any technology and want to know the people's satisfaction, you can use this model. And the satisfaction leads to the net benefit, and the net benefit also leads back to the satisfaction and the person's intention to use. So if the thing is beneficial, the person will use it. And if the person uses it, it becomes beneficial. If the person is using it, it informs the person's satisfaction. Okay. So these are, so it is, the model is saying that when you are looking at information quality, then you must check the reliability of the system's information, timeliness, if you need it, does it come, completeness of the information, and how it is presented. So all these things affect the usability or the satisfaction of a system. And the system quality, the response time, if you click on it, does it come quickly? So when you have integrated any technology, you can use this to check the user's satisfaction or their intention to use, or they are using it. Okay, so functionality, how flexible it is, and then the reliability. The service quality, we'll be looking at the response. Is it responsive? What is the attitude? What is the competence, accuracy, the reliability? So all these ones are also under the service quality that affect information success. Okay, so you can use this to assess somebody's user satisfaction or their intention to use it and the benefit that will come out of it. Okay, so the success model identifies, describe, explain the relationship among the 6 of the most critical dimensions of success, along with information systems which are commonly evaluated. Okay. Now the next one is tax fit technology. Have you wondered why you use a specific technology for a specific task? You can use a manual oven to bake. Why would you prefer a gas oven over a manual oven? So this theory is saying that there are task characteristics and there are technology characteristics. So if the task you are performing, the characteristics there aligns with that of the technology, the person will use it. Okay, so assuming I want in the case of baking, assuming I want a reliable constant heat, and the gas oven gives me a reliable constant heat, I will use it. It will impact the performance. And then the next time, if I want to bake a cake, I will use it. Do you get it? So when the two tasks align, the task characteristics and the technology, so in effect what you are saying is that when the task at hand. And the technology at hand, or the technology helps you to do your tasks better, you tend to increase performance, or its impact on performance, and then it informs that you are going to also use it again. Okay, so that is it. It's emphasized individual impact. Okay. Now, Z model. Z model was also developed by Isabel Mayers. Isabel Mayers. It's about how we take decisions, arriving at a decision. Taking decision. Okay. So the Z model, this is the model. This is the model. So before you integrate technology, you can use the Z model. One is sensing. That is, what do the facts tell us? So you gather information all about the technology you want to integrate. Okay. So in sensing, you can look at the relative advantage. You can also look at are there any other thing that might prevent me from integrating this technology. So you think about all that you see, the facts. What are the facts? And then you should also, the next stage is to, with your intuition, suggest other possible options. You want to use projector. What are other options available? What other options are available? So you provide at least 2 other options. Okay, and then the third one is, what are the criteria for our decision? So you have had some 3 or 4 options. Now let's look at what is the best. And then you should look at, so you are looking at what is the best, and then you are also looking at how to arrive at the best decision. Now the last one is the feeling, the impact. So you are going to look at what is the impact on you and what will be the impact on others. So you don't just integrate technology, but you should go through, you can use it to go, you can use this model to go through an integration process to know what exactly you want to do and then the impact it will bring. Okay, so sensing to gather the fact, intuition to create different options that might address the situation, thinking to agree on the criteria to select the options that will work, and then using feelings to assess the impact of the implementing selected option, and then refine your options to address any issues raised during the assessment of the impact. So that is the Z model. So you use it to take a decision. A decision can be a decision to integrate technology or a decision to revamp something, to introduce a technology in the school or take something out. Okay. Now the next one is the diffusion of innovations, the modified one. Now here it has, this is the diffusion of innovation model, the modified one. We have relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, triability, and then observability. So these are the constructs in the diffusion of innovation modified model. Okay. So you look at the relative advantage. The relative advantage is the degree to which the adopter perceives the innovations to represent an improvement in either efficiency or effectiveness. So the relative advantage, you are looking at whether the person who is going to adopt it will see this as an improvement. So it means that if you are integrating technology, you must let everybody see that there is an improvement over the existing method. Or improvement in terms of efficiency and its effectiveness. Okay. Then triability. Triability refers to the capacity to implement with the new technology before adoption. Is it possible that the software can be tested before it is adopted? So you want to use Google Classroom. Is it possible you can test it before you adopt it? You want to use Moodle. You want to use Flipgrid. Is it possible you can test it? So the model is saying that people will adopt a technology or an innovation if it is triable. Okay, the complexity. We are also looking at the complexity of the degree to which the innovation is difficult to understand or apply. So how complex is your innovation? You want to integrate virtual reality headset or mixed reality headset. Is it that complex? Would the people see it as complex or difficult to understand? So you need to consider that. And then observability. So when we say observability, we are looking at the ease and the relative advantage with which the technology can be seen, imagined, or described to potential adopter. So is the technology visible? Is it common? Is everybody using it? Do you hear advert on radio, or do you see advert on the television or on the web? Yeah. So if you want to introduce a technology, so it means that you must make that technology visible so that people will adopt it. And then compatibility. The degree to which the technology integrated is consistent with users' existing experience and values. So you see, there is something we call change blindness. So if what you are introducing is not consistent with what they know and an improvement, they may feel that this software, this technology you are integrating is not good. It's not good. Okay. So this is the theory, the model: relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, triability, and then observability. All right. Let's go on. Then we look at the Axial Model. The Axial Model is also an instructional design model. And this model helps adopters to know how to integrate technology in the classroom, in education. So if you want to do any integration, first you need to do an analysis. You need to do analysis of what you want to integrate. You need to state objectives, competence objectives. You need to select the right media. You need to utilize the materials. You need to require learner's performance. You need to evaluate it. So if you are integrating anything or implementing a learning situation or implementing an experience, a learning experience, you can use this. You can use this. So you want to integrate the technology in the classroom, you can use this model. Then dig and carry design model. It's also like the Axial model, but then it's different in some sense. First, you need to identify your instructional goals, and then you construct your analysis, and then you identify entry behavior. And then you write your performance objectives, you develop criteria and reference tests, you develop instructional strategy, how you're going to use that technology, or how you're going to use instructional strategy, how you're going to use the technology. Then you develop the materials, then you conduct formative evaluation, and then you develop and conduct summative evaluation. So that is how you can design a lesson or integrate a technology in the classroom. Then Smith and Regan also is an instructional design model. In here, we have analysis, we have strategy, and then we have evaluation. So under the analysis, we are looking at you considering the learning environment. In what environment am I going to integrate this technology, or going to organize this training? Who are my learners? What are the learning tasks I'm going to give? Then after that, you write the test items. Then you determine organizational strategies, your delivery strategies, your management strategies, and then you write and produce the instructions. So at this stage, under the strategy, you deliver the lesson or the training. So this can go for a training or a classroom lesson. So under the evaluation, you conduct the formative evaluation, and then the results you have from there, you use it to revise instruction. So you can use this model to implement innovation in education. Then we have the theory of reasonable action. What is it saying? It has some of these constructs. It has a construct named attitude. So attitude is an individual's evaluation of an object. So how an individual sees an object or a concept is the person's, or how the person values a concept is the person's attitude, or leads to the person's attitude. The belief, that is what you think about something and about an object. Then the behavior is the result or the intention. The intention or the result is a behavior. And then the attitude, we talk about attitude. Attitude are affective. That means attitudes affect feelings, are feelings, or they are social based, and based upon a set of beliefs about the object of a behavior. So what we are saying here is that the attitude of a person is based on a set of beliefs. So everybody is using Momo because there is a positive belief about Momo. People feel that it is convenient. Everybody feels that it is convenient. So You have Momo. Good. So in integrating technology, you must let the people know, have a good view of that technology. That is what this theory is saying. And then a second factor is the subjective norm, what the people's immediate community is are saying. So my peers are using credit card, and it is status to have one. So because people are using it, I tend to use it. Now, if you go to a hospital and you don't have a health insurance card, people will ask you, so are you not in Ghana? Why don't you have a health insurance card? You see, so because of that, because most people want to remove that, you want to get the health insurance card, even though they might not necessarily need it. So this is the model. This is the model. So attitude and subjective norm affect the behavioral intention and the behavior. Now we have the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology by Van Kersh, Morris, Davis, and Davis. Okay, so this is it. So they are saying that performance expectation, how is the system like, will affect the behavioral intention. The effort I will have to put in will affect the behavioral intention. The social influence or the subjective norm will affect use intention to use, or the use behavior. And then all these things are moderated by gender, by age, by experience, and then by voluntariness of use. Okay. So the model, this model can be used to ascertain the determinants of a technology adoption in a specific field of study. So if you want to know why would somebody use an ATM, you can use this model to tell what factors might affect the person's use of that technology. Then the last one is stimulus theoretical framework. Stimulus theoretical framework. So by stimulus theoretical framework, what we are saying is that it was developed by Lama. What we are saying is that we have a stimulus that is about the system and what it can do, the capability. And then we have an organism that is the user's motivation to use the system. So the system, that management system, its design, how it is designed, and the security will affect its perceived issue of use, will affect how it is designed, and the security will affect whether the people will feel that it will be easy to use, or it will be useful. It will be useful. That is the perceived usefulness. The people, if they feel that it is useful, then they will use it. If they feel that it will be easy to use, then they will also use the system. And then if the system is secured, they will also use the system. That is his model. That is the model. So the system has an effect. The system design, the system security has an effect on the usefulness and the easiness of the system and the people's intention to use the system. So if you are introducing any technology, first you must look at the design and how secure it is. So let's look at the use of Google Forms. Google Forms. Now, people use Google Forms a lot to collect information, but they don't use Google Forms when they are collecting information that needs security. I hope you get it. So the security is affecting the person's use of that technology. So when you are introducing any technology, you must look at the design and the security. Okay. So this is the end of the presentation. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you. Any question?